Hey, so this is just going to be a quick little demo and showing off of OBS with Hammerspoon and kind of my setup for also use something very similar for Google Meets and Zoom and Loom and another screen sharing app called Pop. So this is kind of showing off like how you can use Hammerspoon to automate a bunch of interesting things. So for instance, in my OBS, what I call context, shout out to Evan Travers, a buddy of mine that has also dove very deep into Hammerspoon and automation of apps and all that sort of thing. He's written an incredible set of tools called Headspace, and they have different context there as well. They're just called headspaces to kind of put your entire system into a focus. And mine does something very similar, but not as robust as his. Mine just kind of hooks into apps in Windows that are launched or activated and that sort of thing. So in this instance for OBS, I basically have a set of modules, again, called context, and a bunch of watchers on these things. And the idea is that when you fire up OBS, in this case, it's watching to ensure that it's been launched. That's the event. I'm usually going to be going into Kitty, which is my terminal of choice, and then also doing some other things, like you could do stuff with your web browser or that sort of thing. In this case, we got you could use something like Keycaster to so you can open up Keycaster to show your key binding or your key presses. And shout out to Leafac on GitHub and also on YouTube. He's like, hey man, let's do Keycaster, but way more simplified, and you can kind of control a lot more stuff. So like in this case, here's my key shower thing based on his example, but with some other additions and changes to fit into my setup. But basically, if you look at the top there, up here, it's really small, but you can see, you know, if it changes based upon certain mods being pressed. So anyway, that's that, but that's only a very small part of it. Other things I do, I will change my output volume so that if I am listening to some chill music like right now, it's a little bit lower volumed. And I can also still control it further. But anyway, so that's that. Let me pause that for right now. And then we will also go ahead and so we'll show the the key shower thing, kind of like Keycaster. Do not disturb. We'll go ahead and set my do not disturb to on, and if I'm in Slack or whatnot, it will post also to a particular Slack status for OBS. And then my push to talk module that I wrote just sets to push to mute, so it automatically opens up my mic for me to start talking. I don't have to hold that down, and then we set the default volume to something way lower. And then a couple other things, you can set some layouts for browsers or Kitty. In this case, I just maximize them both. In Zoom or Google Meet, I'll usually split them 50-50. And then also just change the the font size to Kitty. And then I just bring Kitty to the front so that I'm ready to go. So this is just a simple example of using Hammerspoon, and I haven't gone into how all this stuff is put together because I just have a bunch of modules that I've written and other like types of things. But it just at least kind of shows you how you can go really far into automation based upon like a thing being launched or whatnot. Like here's one other quick example. Like for instance, for Pop, does kind of similar things except for in this case, you know, that's looking for Zoom. Actually, that's broken, so that's clearly not doing the right thing. If it's looking for a Zoom window, isn't that right? So we're not worried about that one right now. Clearly, haven't got that one all going yet. But in general, this is how you can automate things. You know, have your application watchers, window filters, window watchers, that sort of thing, and do various things based upon that. Yeah, I'll probably dive further into how all this is kind of put together, kind of the general idea of how you can do this for your own kind of setup. But this also shout out to Chris, aka NG, on IRC, and the Hammerspoon IRC channel on Libera. Used to be Freenode, but anyway, so he is I think the creator of Hammerspoon, at least a primary maintainer, also for almost past 10 years. And we were talking extensively about like using OBS as your video calling setup as well, and like he's automating a bunch of stuff with OBS, and he's written a new spoon for it, and more to come. But with Stream Deck, I don't have Stream Deck, so we just do it all automated based on the app that's launched and loaded. So yeah, that's it. Would love to hear thoughts. Definitely will put out some more stuff. Oh, I just realized when you do stop, when you kill it and there's nothing left of the app, then I will go ahead and affect it. Well, sorry, this is in the case of if everything's hidden and there are no windows left for that particular app, and then I will go ahead and kill the app. Otherwise, if the event is terminated, then I know that it is dead, and then it should run back through, and then I go ahead and kind of reset everything back. I kill my key shower, keycaster, but key shower or key shower, and then I set my push to talk back to the way I want it. I turn do not disturb off. I set my fonts back for Kitty, and basically if Kitty was in a weird state, I put it back to maximize and that sort of thing. And the same for the browser. If it was in a weird state, I do the same thing. So you can set up and tear down every single thing based upon, again, events. So that's the most amazing thing about Hammerspoons. You can do everything automated based on things, based on other things, like if you wanted to watch for if your Wi-Fi changed, or if you disconnected it, or it's no longer connected to a particular USB device, like you undocked your laptop or whatnot, all that. So totally flexible, totally just beyond everything to do insanely crazy things. So pretty dope. So anyway, thanks.